Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, May the 22nd, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you on this Sunday morning?
I'm doing well, Coach. Doing well. Ready for a big Major League Baseball slate this afternoon, and then we got the NBA playoffs tonight, of course, Game 3. So excited for both of those.
Yeah, and we've got some good sweats coming up for the PGA Championship 4th round. So that's on the docket as well. It's going to be a great sports day. Can't believe I have to wait till 9 o'clock at night for the Mavs game.
I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, I got to, get home or whatever after church and watch baseball, and then I'll watch the Mavs. And I'm like, wait, it's not till 8 o'clock? What?
Yeah, it's super 8 your time, 9 here on the East Coast.
Yeah, 9 there on the East Coast. That's really weird. I mean,
that's shocking on a Sunday. I mean, I thought we might get a late afternoon game.
Yeah, the 3:30. Yeah,
early evening.
Yeah, I thought the 3:30 game for sure on ABC.
Yeah.
But I guess it's TNT. They have the rights to the Western Conference Finals.
Do they? Okay. Yeah. So they want that prime time late night spot.
They still could have done 80 Eastern, but
yeah, I'm very surprised, but it'll be interesting. But we are by popular demand, everybody seems to keep enjoying this, and it allows them to skip around or listen to the whole thing. But we're going to do both the baseball and then the basketball podcast here together.
Yeah.
So those are a lot of fun, a lot of good information. And, as long as everybody keeps sending us the positive comments, they enjoy it, we're going to keep it going. And we will timestamp it, so no worries.
Right.
All right, my friend. Interesting basketball game last night. We were on the precipice of possibly monster takedowns, and then Butler got hurt, and that crushed us. We still, even though he didn't play the second half, we still cashed everywhere. But man, it could have been a big night.
Yeah, my head and my ego got in the way a little bit last night, and I played Tatum over Adebayo in the the star spot or whatever. I remember you had, I think, Butler, Adebayo, and then Tatum, but I moved Tatum and Adebayo just because there's no way that Tatum is going to have a worse game than Adebayo. Well, Tatum had a horrible game, and Adebayo just killed it.
He did. And I'll tell you, shout out to Deb. Deb and I were both trumpeting Bam yesterday, so that got us to the winner's circle. But it was a crazy game. Guys going down left and right, and it was weird.
It was wild. But lesson learned. I won't be doing that again. I'll just trust Coach.
All right, man. Here we go. Baseball, and I love it. This makes me so happy. Even though it's a different amount of games, all the main slates, 135 today, all double-digit slates. This is my cup of tea. We get to lock everything in, follow the news throughout the day. Very, very excited. And it doesn't look like we have much weather becoming any kind of a problem either.
No, just from a pitchers and hitters standpoint, but not as far as a game being delayed or postponed or anything like that. So pretty clear.
And there's a lot of hot temperatures for some of these games in the upper 80s. So we're going to see the ball flying around the yard. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, if you're new to the podcast, what we do is we give a synopsis. We bring together our pay up, value, and fade pitchers, our BVP stacks, HR, and PrizePicks selection. So we give you a good look at the whole slate, what we're focusing on, and hopefully that gives you some good core to build those lineups and take some stuff down. So let's start off with your pay up pitcher, Crash. What do you got?
My pay-up pitcher is going to be Freddie Peralta. He's 10-5 on both sites. He had his best start of the year last time against the Braves. In that game, he pitched 7 shutout innings and struck out 10. He has the same favorable matchup against Washington that Eric Lauer and Brandon Woodruff have held to 1 run combined.
Yeah.
The other top pay-up option for me, I'm really not sure what it would be, honestly, because the other top pay-up options, they both have, you have like Eovaldi and Logan Gilbert. They have pretty tough matchups, especially with the weather. And then Sandy Alcantara, I don't really like because the Braves have been a top 10 offense since Ronald Acuna Jr. came back to their lineup. So I don't really know what the other top pay up option would be for me. So I'm just really focused on Peralta at the top.
Okay. And for me, it's interesting today. I'm going to do a 1 and 1A because the two pitchers I like are not super expensive, but they're not, I wouldn't say super value either. So I'm going to give both my pay up and value pitchers, both of them together, because the combination, sort of makes them where I want to be with them. And that is Sandy Alcantara. I like him.
Okay.
He's pitching well. I think he's one of the most underrated pitchers in the game. He works a game. He, pinpoints his pitches. He's solid. I like him in this matchup. Atlanta's third in the league in strikeouts, so he should have plenty of strikeouts on the board. Yes, Atlanta's offense scares me a little bit, but not down at the bottom. It's not as strong. So I think he can work his way through that lineup just fine. And then the guy I like with him is I'm sticking with Corey Kluber. He got it done for me last time. A couple of times ago, he did have a really bad outing and it scared everybody off of him. But, he's going against Baltimore, and that ballpark, since they changed where the fences are, went from one of the easiest home run parks to one of the toughest. So I think that helps them. And then on top of that, Baltimore's fourth in the league in strikeouts. And I'll tell you, man, every day I'm looking for guys that can go 6 or 7 innings and strike out 7 or 8 guys. You give me those two criteria and I'll take my chances. And I think in these matchups, Alcantara and Kluber fit the bill. Now they're not, Verlander and, Cole and all these guys, but I think they can do well enough on a slate like this for their prices, which, are in that 8,800, 9,000, range. And depends on which site, obviously, but you don't have to unload the coffers for a, 10 and a half, 11K pitcher. And you get two guys with a lot of strikeout upside. So there's both my pitchers in one shot.
Okay. My value pitcher is going to be Wade Miley. He's 6,700 on Fanduel, 6,100 on Draftkings. He's in the same spot that Justin Steele was in yesterday.
Hey, great call on Justin Steele. Damn.
Thank you. Yeah, he had
tough.
9 strikeouts yesterday.
Yeah.
But the winds are blowing in. It, favors the pitchers. Arizona has been better against right-handed pitchers than lefties. Most of this lineup hasn't seen Wade Miley before, and he had a really nice start against the Pirates after he struggled in his first start this year. And I just like this spot for him. I think that, especially at his price, 6,700 on FanDuel, 6,100 on DraftKings, he makes for a really nice value play.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. My fade pitcher you had mentioned before, it's Logan Gilbert. I think he's expensive. I think, people still may roster him up. But against Boston, in Boston, with temperatures in the upper 80s, they're heating up with the bats, different guys throughout that lineup. You had Devers hitting 2 yesterday. Bogarts and Martinez and even Kike Hernandez have been getting a little hotter. So I think that it's just a rough matchup for Gilbert. And at his price, I think he's pretty easy fade for me.
Yeah. Well, my fade pitcher is actually Sandy Alcantara.
Oh, okay.
I like Atlanta's offense. I've watched a few of their games lately, and I think that, they can give him some trouble. But the issue is he will get a lot of strikeouts. So I think he will get a lot of ownership. And I don't think that it's a slam dunk by any means, but I just don't think there's a lot of great fades on this slate at the top. So as far as that are going to see much ownership anyway. So,
all right, I'm going to get my Marlins fish hat out. That's all there is to it now.
Yeah.
Now I'm really fired up for that game. So I've got the MLB ticket deal. So I know which game I'm watching early on.
I'm stacking the Braves. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to be texting you all kinds of fish pictures. That's all I'm saying. All right, man. I don't know if this is switching the order and going to blow your mind, but let's go to BVP and see if I can get you out of your order since you're, going against my top pitcher here. So we're gonna battles on, game on today.
Okay. I'm going to go with DJ LeMahieu, 3,000 on Fanduel, 4,800 on DraftKings. He's 343. He has 12 hits and 35 at bats against Johnny Cueto. So good sample size. Hasn't hit a home run against him, but several hits, several at bats, and we saw what LeMahieu did yesterday. He hit a grand slam for you. So
I needed it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is there ever going to be a slate where we're not stacking the Yankees? I mean, good
I don't
Lord.
know.
Seems like every slate you just can't get around wanting to stack the Yankees.
Yeah. And I mean, they didn't crush it yesterday. I mean, LeMahieu hit that grand slam, and that was about it.
Yeah, it was a disappointment after that, but it looks like in the setup every day, like they're so hard to fade any of those guys.
I know.
Mine's a little bit different, but it's partial just watching the game a little bit too. I like Trey Turner versus Eflin. He's homered twice off of him. He's batting high percentage, and just watching Turner from the past and now, he's hitting. Some of his outs are just solid strikes of the ball. When he's barreling it up, it's just a matter of time for him. And I'd like to sneak him in there as a key play whenever I can, because there's not a whole lot of guys you can say, okay, this guy's going to, hit me a homer or two. He's going to steal a bag or two. He's going to score some runs. He's just such a five-tool player. When it's a matchup that I think is favorable to him, which I think it is against Eflin, it's not, just piled on. Let's take the best BVP guy on who's hit the most homers or hitting the high percentage. He's done that well against Eflin, but I think just over the top, I just like the eye service here on Trey. I think he's due for a really good game.
Yeah, it's favorable weather too for hitters in Philly today. So
it is hot.
Yeah, it's hot there. All right, so that brings us to our stacks. Is that right?
It does. Look at that. You guessed it.
So you already called it out, the Yankees, obviously. I also like the Astros against Taylor Hearn. I think they're a strong stack. The Dodgers against Zach Eflin, as we've been talking about. And then the Brewers, again, I think they have a good matchup against Aaron Sanchez. So,
yeah, they could hit Sanchez, no doubt about it. Yankees are going to be chalky. There's no question about it. We know that's coming. The question is, how many Yankees can you fit in there? I'm hoping by not having a really expensive pitcher that I can get a couple extra in there, because, man, LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, and those five specifically, I'm interested in. Gallo's been a little slumped. I almost had a great call on Kiner Falefa. He did have a double and an RBI, but he just missed a homer. I'll tell you who's really bad, though. Aaron Hicks needs to retire yesterday, man. He can't defend anymore. He botched a play that he should have caught, and he can't hit. I think he's just about done. But anyway, yes, the top of that Yankees order is going to be just dead ass chalk again, but I'm going to try to fit some of them in there as best I can. I also really, really like the Toronto Blue Jays stack today, against Mr. Ashcraft. And I wore my Cincinnati Reds shirt today. Actually, it's one of the new shirts that came in. It wasn't meant for the Reds, but I'm hoping it's the reverse jinx again. And, you do have some super expensive guys, but, from Springer to Bichette, Guerrero, Hernandez, and Gurriel, who's really having a good season nobody's talking about. But then even after that, the cheaper guys, Jansen, Chapman, Kirk, Espanol, you can do wraparound stacks. There's a lot of different things you can do with that Blue Jays stack to make it work. And then my last selection, because we have a Coors game, I got to mention it. I think you can play anybody from this game and feel good about it. It's a little bit warmer. It's 53. And the wind, it's a 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. So, if you want to stack this game on both sides, I'd say go for it. It's, it's not as cold as it was. You know, you have Walker versus Gomber, which isn't exactly, you know, Scherzer versus Verlander.
Right.
So, you know, I've been down on Walker, and I think Colorado's bats are cheap enough that you can really get a couple of those guys in.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem with getting some of those righties in for the Mets. Sterling Marte is on fire. So him, Lindor, you know, they're expensive. Alonso homered yesterday. He's expensive. So it's going to be pick and choose. But, you know, I want at least a couple of one-offs here with the Yankees, Mets, Colorado, and Toronto. Those are the 4 teams I'm really focused on today.
Okay. Yeah, they the Rockies, they got 11 runs last night, even in that colder weather. So
I know. And it's definitely warmer today, and the wind shifted to blowing out. So not heavy wind, but enough.
You don't need a lot in Coors.
No.
So
all right, man. What's that HR calling? You better not steal my guy. I'm a little worried.
I don't think I'm going to. He wasn't in your stack, so if that eliminates it, I don't know.
It does, yes.
Okay. Max Muncy, he's 4 of 8 against Zach Eflin, 2 home runs. As we mentioned, the wind's going to be blowing out. It's going to be hot. I like Muncy today to hit a home run.
I like it. I'm going to go, you know, Coach Chalk here. No problem. Chalky Coach, whatever you want to call me. I mean, Stanton. It's against Cueto. He's batting .412. He's already got 3 homers against Cueto. He barrels them up like crazy. And with the heat right now, I think all he's got to do is get the ball airborne in that right center field, you know, pocket that he hits it. All he does is reach out with those Popeye kind of arms, you know, forearms he has. He just reaches out and the ball just goes over the wall. So yeah, I'm going with Mr. Mike Stanton as he probably punches in the nose if we called him. But
so that brings us to our PrizePicks plays.
Yes, it does.
All right. So I am going with the Yankees stack over 0.5 home runs, Stanton, Judge, and LeMahieu.
That is a great play. And you know what? I didn't have that as one of my picks, but I'm going to play it. I love that play.
Yeah.
Here's a weird one for you. I like Corey Kluber today, like I said before. 30.5. I'm going over on his pitching fantasy score.
Okay.
I just, you know, Tampa's like the magic wand, man. They re-bring around careers. We know Kluber's a former Cy Young winner. He's looking better. You know, sometimes he gets smashed for an outing, but I feel good about him here against Baltimore in that park, you know, with all the strikeouts available. And, man, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen – speaking of Baltimore, were you watching Baseball Tonight at all last night with that catch, the new catcher they just called up?
I heard about him because I got some alerts yesterday that he had been added to the player pool on Fanduel and Draftkings. But yeah, it's Andy
Ratchman.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. But we're going to be laughing about this someday because they treated him like, you know, I remember when Bryce Harper first made it to the majors, you know. And they showed every at bat. I mean, they literally broke away from whatever was going on MLB Tonight to show every one of his full at bats. That's how good he is.
It's Adley, actually. Adley Rutschman.
Adley Rutschman, correct. Adley, Adley, Adley Rutschman. And man, I'll tell you what.
Did he look the part? I mean,
he looked it, man. He's 6'3", 225, you know, but not fat. He's just a strong catcher. He's got an absolute cannon, and he's a switch hitter. They're you know, it's so unfair. They're already comparing him to Johnny Bench. Now, seriously.
Oh, wow.
I know, no pressure on the kid. He's had one game.
Right.
But he's got power from both sides, better average from the right, lots of power from the left. But just he looks like a seasoned guy, and he's so young. They drafted him first overall in 2019, Ratchman. So keep an eye out for him. He batted fifth, I think, or sixth already right off the bat.
Yeah.
And he ripped it really was a double with an error. He took an extra base when it was bobbled, but They called it a triple, the home team there. But you're going to hear big things from that guy, and he'll be hitting 3 or 4 here before you know it. So keep an eye out for him. But anyway, I wanted to mention him because I was impressed with not too many guys get that kind of royal
pretty crazy. Maybe not today, but against Kluber. But yeah, definitely be keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, he better not. After I just talked him up, if he stings my pitcher, I'm going to be very upset. But anyway, Kluber over there. I think with the strikeouts, it'll get him there.
I like that. Okay, so I mentioned before the show that there was, I think, what might be a mistake on PrizePicks.
Okay.
Got the Rockies. Now, here's the thing. Not only do they have the Rockies on here, which they didn't the other day when the Rockies were playing, but they've got 4 Rockies instead of just 3. Wow. So you got Chris Bryant, CJ Cron, Charlie Blackmon, and Ryan McMahon over 0.5 home runs.
So 4 guys, and any of
4 guys
to get one home run?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like a taco special.
I know. It should be. Yeah.
And there's no limit to $25 or anything. This is a full go.
It's a full play, yeah.
Wow. All right, circle that one. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a must play, I think. So
no doubt. All right, excellent call. I'm going to go Jazz Chisholm from Miami under 6.5. And here's why. I was watching the game. He hurt his hamstring. He was limping really bad. It didn't look like he was going to stay in the game. He kept fighting through it. Then, of course, whenever you're hurt, that happens. Somebody gets a hit, and he has to go first to third.
Yeah.
He dives into third. His legs, he's grabbing his leg. He's reaching for. He just was banged up. And you know what? When I see a guy, if he does stay in the lineup, maybe he gets scratched today. Don't be surprised if he doesn't. But if he does, when a guy that depends on speed has a tight hammy and not feeling great, I'll take the under all day.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call. So you heard about what happened with Contreras yesterday, right?
I did. Crazy.
That was crazy. He gets the single, and I'm thinking, okay, if that's all he does, then he's going to go under. Then he steals second, which he hadn't stolen a base all year. Then he gets hurt on the next play trying to steal third. So
how do you figure that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hilarious.
All right, so you're my third play. My third play is going to be Wade Miley over 23.5 fantasy score. As I mentioned, he's my value pick. I like that number. I definitely think he can get over that. Arizona's the second most strikeouts per game. So I like that.
I like it. And then chalky coach Giancarlo Mike Stanton over 1.5 total bases.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you should be able to get that.
Pop that right center field, even if it doesn't go over the fence. You grab a little double, and then we take the win.
Yep. I like it.
So there you go, man. That's what we got. All right. Baseball. Anything else before we transition to the National Basketball Association?
Yeah. One thing I noticed was on DraftKings, they don't have the Yankees on their main slate. It's really weird to me.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. That's really
I could not understand it. So we have if you're a member and you're listening in, and hopefully you do, because we really try to explain to our members the combination of the podcast, getting your selections ready, and then we provide cores or clipboards for DraftKings, full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo, but it allows you to build some guys so that you can pivot and do some things from there. But it was weird. Yes, it's great that we have a 135 lock for main slate for everybody, but DraftKings in that main slate that locks at 135 has 10 games. FanDuel has 12 and Yahoo has 13. So go figure, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
So be aware, you're going to have to do a little extra work. You can't just, if you like one guy and all, you think you're going to plug them in all three. There's cases like with Stanton where it isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
No doubt.
Unfortunate. All right, Coach, let's go to Dallas.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that I didn't wear gold today because that didn't seem to work. And I'm just so shook up still from that collapse in the second half. I just figured, I'm just not even going to think about it. I'm just going to go after this game and figure it out because, we have two scenarios here. One being, is Dallas going to now just have their mind blown that they just completely collapsed like that?
No,
They had 2 open threes to go up 22, missed them both, and they end up losing this game. So that's a lot to crash and burn on. And I don't know. Or, they've been fantastic in Dallas, and the home crowd's going to go absolutely nuts. Do you know that Dawson tried to go down for the watch party at American Airlines this last game? It's sold out. So how'd you like to sell out your stadium for a road game?
Right.
Yeah.
For
crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. Of course, everybody realizes you go down 3-0, you're dead. It's over. So, hey, they lost the first 2 to Phoenix. Yep. Maybe they bounce back here and can do the same thing. But let me say this real quickly, though, before we dive into basketball. This podcast is presented to you by PrizePicks. We gave those in baseball. At the end of basketball here, we're not only going to give you our PrizePicks selections, we're going to build a 2 brains are better than one Fanduel GPP. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to take advantage of PrizePicks and you haven't yet, go to prizepicks.com and you want to deposit whatever you want. But they will match you dollar for dollar all the way up to $100 if you put in the promo code Coach Talk. So do that for sure. If you like what you're hearing today, let us know here in YouTube. Give us a quick thumbs up. Give us a comment. You like the 2 sports together. You don't like the 2 sports. We're doing them because we keep getting a bunch of positive comments. So keep those coming and we'll keep them, together like this. Also, hit the thumbs up for the subscribe. And while you're at it, hit that little alarm in the upper corner. It allows you to know exactly with an alert when any of our podcasts post. We have 7-day-a-week MLB and NBA podcasts in front of the paywall and a PGA podcast that comes out once a week as well. Also, if you're listening to us audio-wise, the days are flowing down here. We're almost in the last week of the month already somehow. But if you're listening anywhere, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, all of them, give a quick 5-star and comment. And our man Colin will go through with the randomizer next week, when the month ends, and somebody's going to win a free 1-month member. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll give it. You know what? Let's give it away this time. I messed up. So instead of a week membership, you're going to get a 1-month membership. So here you go. We'll change that the rest of this week. And if you give us that 5-star and a quick comment, it can be just 2-3 words. We'll have that drawing for a 1-month membership. Also, when I'm mentioning that, Crash, if you want to sign up for betus.com.pa, one of our other sponsors, you can get a free month membership with Coach Talk there as well. All you have to do is sign up with them at betus.com.pa by using the promo code Coach Talk. Deposit at least $79 for that first deposit, and you get that free month of Coach Talk. All you have to do is put that promo code in, Coach Talk. All right, we're going to get into basketball. I guess the main thing we have to talk about here is the psychological aspect of things. How are things going to pan out? What is your gut feeling before I start spouting off here about the Mavs, one way or the other? How do you think they come into this game, Crash?
I think they're okay. I think that they'll, lean heavily on the fact that they came back against Phoenix. All the announcers were talking about it after the game. And I think that this is their bounce back spot. Role players will play better at home. So I think they'll get more from the Finney Smiths and Spencer Dinwiddie's and guys like that. And Kleba, he hasn't had a good game yet in this series at all. So I think that he'll have a good game. And I think Dallas wins tonight.
I hope you're right, man. I do. Well, let's set the game for you. Dallas is favored by 3, so that's a good sign. Vegas thinks they're going to win. It's a 218.5 total, 107.75 implied for Golden State, 110.75 implied for the Dallas Mavericks. As far as injuries, we've had an off again, on again report. Wiggins is hurt. He's not hurt. He's might not play. He's going to play. He's listed as questionable. The last thing I read is he's going to play. So the big question is he hurt enough that it's going to limit his play at all? He's been a key component for Golden State. I think he goes personally. Iguodala, doubtful again, more than likely not going to play. We know Peyton's out and Hardaway's out. So not much change other than, we'll keep our ear to the wall on Wiggins, but I'd be absolutely shocked if he played, or I'm sorry, if he didn't play, and if he's limited. I think he just goes.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right, let's break down Dallas since we're talking Dallas. Is this, Luka, you start your lineup with him and just forget about it? Is he your captain for sure? What are you looking at?
I don't see, other than a GPP, why Luka wouldn't be, the lock and load play. If they're going to win, it's going to be heavily dependent upon him. So,
he did, I mentioned on the pod last time, I thought he could get 40 real points very easily in this last game. And he got 42 and they lost. So
it's the other guys that have to get going. That's the issue.
And
their defense hasn't been playing very good at all.
Well, the defense played well in the first half. And then in the second half, we talked about it on the podcast. If you start chucking a bunch of threes, which they did in the second, they did in the first half, they made them. But in the second half, they were bricks. And that allows teams to kick it out in transition. And all they do is look for the trailer and they hit threes. And if you have, can you imagine the horror, a coach, if I'm on the bench there and I'm giving up long rebounds and they're transitioning, you have Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Klay Thompson, unguarded because they're stepping into threes on transition. So the key is keeping the pace in control, not missing a bunch of those threes and allowing transition, because Dallas's half-court defense has been fine. It's when they start getting erratic and allowing transition and they can't get a set defense is when they're getting really wide open shots. And, let's face it, Steph Curry's the greatest shooter in the history of basketball since Mr. James Naismith invented it. So it's not like we're trying to stop a guy that's just a good shooter. And I'll tell you what, he is an amazing guy to watch play. He really is.
He really is.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun.
There's nothing like watching Steph when he's cooking, as they say.
Oh, it's just crazy. It's like he knows the ball's going in before he lets it go.
Yeah, I know.
It's scary. So, I agree with you on Luka. He's so ball dominant and so important to that team. Yes, Jalen Brunson is a fine play because he is the second fiddle to Luka, and he does dominate one-on-one when Luka's out of the game. But other than that, though, I don't know how you think, Luka's not going to have, 40% usage here.
Yeah, I think his floor is about 55, fantasy points. So I don't see how you can fade that.
It is hard to fade in a single game where raw points matter. I agree with you completely. And I think he could have 40 real points again. I really do.
Yeah, he definitely could. He's capable of it night in and night out. So
the question is, who are you looking at around him that's going to make it work? Because it's been a crapshoot. Brunson's been fine, but everybody else, it's, spin the wheel and see who you come up on, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at Spencer Dinwiddie. He came into this series hot after the game in Phoenix, and then came in game one and played well. And I think that he's going to play well back at home. I like Dinwiddie in this game.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't look nervous. Even in that game, if there was anybody that at least had some semblance of attacking and didn't get scared at the end of that game, even though they lost, it was Dinwiddie. And I think that means a lot. The problem is, he was only 2 for 6. He only got 6 shots up. and he only played 22 minutes. So,
Right.
I think he gets more like 28 minutes here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a decent play as well. But there's so much risk there,
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I also like Finney Smith. He hasn't really had that big game yet, and I like him in this game. He played a lot better at home against Phoenix, and I think that he will against Golden State too. So I think he and Dinwiddie and Brunson, all three of those guys, are going to step up for Dallas today.
Yeah, I think Finney Smith's the safest second guy because he's going to get over 40 minutes. I mean, there's no doubt. And he does play much better in Dallas.
Yeah.
And he only took 6 shots in this last game as well. But he did make 3 threes, and he's going to get some rebounds and stocks for you every game. So I think Finney Smith's a fine play. The wild card, gamble play is Reggie Bullock because he played almost 45 minutes in this last game.
I know.
That means a lot. And if he's hitting his threes, that's all you need,
Yep. Yeah, I like Bullock too. And do you think that Kleba will play? I think he will. I think he'll play better at home.
I have taken a punch in the gut the last 2 games in a row by having Kleba sort of my last guy in. But, he was 1 for 5 this last game with 1 rebound. So I'm worried. I mean, he got 33 minutes. He is the pseudo starting center. Powell played 7 minutes and something again.
Yeah, but Powell's a non-factor. He's just like he's there for the start, and then you take him out of the game.
Yeah. The thing, though, that, and I've said it 92 million times on these podcasts, Dallas is going to run it the 3-point line, and they have the worst interior defense in the league, in my opinion. Yeah. So, when, Looney's having career games that your interior defense sucks.
Right.
So, Kleba is a good defender, but he's not a post defender. He moves his feet well. He can play the bigs that play away from the basket. So that's the problem. He doesn't do well against the Bulls inside, like the guys that get position and get offensive rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah.
And that concerns me again there. So, I don't know. I don't think there's an answer. I mean, your center is going to be Kleba or Powell, or you go small, and that's going to allow, baskets in the paint. So I do think Kleba will play better, though.
They're going to bring Boban in.
No.
No, I know.
They won't. He can't move. I mean, that would stop that, but then it kills you everywhere else. So
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I say, I'm hesitant on Kleba because he's burned me twice in a row. But I do think he gets mid-30s minutes, and I do think he will play better in Dallas.
Yeah, I agree.
If they put Frank Ntilikina or Josh Green in the game, I'm going to turn off the television. I'm just
unless they're
winning to be down on 2 guys that bad, but they are not capable of this level right now.
Yeah, unless they're winning by like 30 in the 4th quarter.
I don't even want him in then. Put in Trey Burke and Marquise Chris or whatever, Sterling Brown. I don't want to see those. I don't even want them. I don't want to see them on the bench. So camera, don't even scan to them. How's that for bitterness?
And tell them you want Ntilikina off the team.
I don't want. He can stay on the team. Just sit at the end of the bench and get some Gatorade for some guys. Oh Lord, but yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, it's been this way the whole time, though. If you're buying up for Luka, you're probably not going to be able to afford Brunson if you want to have anybody on the other side. And then it's just, is it Bullock, Finney Smith, Kleba, Dinwiddie? I mean, you got to make your choices. And, if anybody tells you it's definitely this guy, definitely that guy, right now it literally is the way they're defending, and they'll continue to defend the way they are. They've won both games. It's going to be which guy's going to make shots because they're going to have, attempts where they're fairly open for a 3.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try to take Luka and Brunson's penetration away and sink in, and they're going to help. That show thing that Curry does every time they try to pick Curry's guy so Luka can take Curry, and they're doing the old. I mean, we taught show defense double like 40 years ago. I mean, it's nothing new, but they're going to do that every time. And what it does is it does allow for some open threes for some guys. So the question is, who's going to make them?
Yep, that's the key.
That's the key. All right, Golden State Warriors. We're expecting Wiggins to play. He played 38 minutes. Again, he's led them in minutes played in this series. He's played more than Clay or Curry or any of them. Couple of questions for you as to break this down. If you're going to Luka, does that eliminate you going to Curry?
No, I was able to build a couple lineups this morning with both. There's enough value, especially on the Dallas side, to be able to pull it off. If you start stacking a bunch of the Warriors, though, you can't really do it. But if you stack Dallas, you can definitely do it.
Okay, so is Curry your favorite play on the Golden State side?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Looney as a value play, but Looney's price is going up. So, Wiggins, I think he's going to be hampered a little bit. It's a tough series for Clay, with Dallas's perimeter defense. I just think that this is going to be a tough series for him. And Draymond, he gets a lot of peripherals, but he doesn't score a ton. I think it's going to be tough on Poole this series. So Looney and Curry is really the only two guys that I'm really looking at for Golden State. And if Wiggins doesn't play, then I think maybe Damian Lee or somebody like that could get some extra minutes.
Yeah, I think Wiggins plays, man.
Yeah, I would think so, but I'm just saying just in case.
I'll only do this for like 20 seconds, but I have to do it. The fact that Draymond Green wasn't thrown out of that last game is a travesty to the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a kid watching that game and you saw the way he reacted to things, and he's saying F and BS, but saying it all out, screaming, waving officials off, getting in guys' faces, jumping in huddles, and he doesn't get thrown out. Come on, man. That's you talk about the opposite reaction to a guy. It's supposed to be when a guy is an ass like that, you tee him up and get him out of there. But they had determined that they were just going to let him do whatever. And I thought that was, he only scored 6 points and whatever, but having that psychological advantage that he was still in there and they had him on the bench with 5 and he could come back in. I mean, he still is a raw leader. And if you're a Warriors fan, I'm sure you like him because he plays with passion. And I admire that. But when you can't control your passion, you need to go take a shower, get out of there. And so I hope the refs, I think in Dallas, they're going to be dogging. And so I think if he pulls that crap, I think he may go. But I'm not going to take him. He has not shown offensively that he's going to step up even with no interior offense. And when you're taking him, you got a 50-50 shot. He gets tossed the way he's been acting. Yeah. And since he's getting away with it, it's like, a little kid, you let him get away with it, they're going to try even more. So I wouldn't touch him at all.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Looney, it's not chasing points. I've been saying it since this series started. Dallas can't, guard the interior. He played 32 minutes. And I said this, pull the tape. I said, if Looney plays over 30 minutes, he's a fantastic play because that means he's killing it in the paint. Played 32 minutes, 10 for 14, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, that's, going to break the slate. So I have no problem going back to Looney. Dallas doesn't have an answer. Like you said, the only way they stop Looney is they bring in Boban, and they're not going to do it because, again, it would screw up everything else. So Looney's in play for me for sure. And then after that, you've got your dilemma. Is Wiggins going to continue to play the way he has in this series, which is better than he did in the regular season? Or does that injury hamper him? Do you pay up for Curry? Do you believe Thompson and Poole at a reduced price can get it done? Now, I will say I was wrong about Klay Thompson last time. I can't believe he got even less shots up. He only got 10 shots up.
I know.
And I thought he'd get 20.
Yeah, it's Bullock, right? That's defending him.
Yeah. Well, they've been moving him around a little bit. Bullock's played Curry a little bit, but he's played Thompson, and Bullock's ridiculous. He did that to Paul too, but the question is, do you put Bullock on Curry? Does that open up Clay? I just still feel that they're going to get Clay shots. So I'm not giving up on Clay. I think his price is very fair. And if he gets up, there will be a game he gets 20 shots up. Yeah. And you're going to need him. And at least he had 5 assists and 4 rebounds. So he's improved his peripheral stuff when they taking his shot away. But I think he's a very reasonable play here. I am not going to say, like I said last time, I'm fading Curry because, I look like a dope. So I'll never say fade Curry again. He's a fine play if you can fit him in, play him. If you do sit him and go with a Clay or a Poole or Wiggins, whatever, it does open up the fact you can get another good player. Like you can get 2 of those guys, whereas you probably can if you go with Curry. So it's a combination thing. There's no absolute, smash here of a guy that you have to play. I think you can shuffle the deck a little bit on the Golden State side.
Yeah, my thing with that, Coach, is I actually like Jalen Brunson more than those 2. I'd rather just pay Jalen Brunson, pay for him. He's had better production than those 2. If you look at the whole, the series as a whole, he had a 48 fantasy point game in game 2. Yeah. So I just like Jalen Brunson more.
Well, let's face it. It's the Dallas offense is Luka 1-on-1, Brunson 1-on-1. Those are the only 2 plays. After that, if they get picked up or doubled, one of the other guys is going to get an open 3, but it's really nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
And for Golden State, they work Wiggins, Thompson, Curry, Poole. All 4 of them are getting all kinds of stuff. And then you got all the scraps and offensive rebounds and rolls to the hoop for Looney and Green. So it's you're getting a spread out usage more for Golden State, and it does back up. Statistically, if you're really looking at this, you do want Luka and Brunson, but it does handcuff you a bit with enough Warriors that are going to impact. So let me ask you this then. For the value, is there anybody, maybe Otto Porter? Is that the only value guy?
Yeah, I like Otto Porter.
And Kevon Looney, right?
Kevon Looney, of course, yeah. Yeah, so Porter and Looney would be the main 2, but Looney's almost headed towards not even being a value play anymore. So,
by the way, I told you Moses Moody was your lock play, and he got 9 minutes and hit a shot.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was surprised he even played at all, but I guess it was because of the Wiggins injury. Is that why he was out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I got a chuckle out of it, though.
Maybe Moody would be a value play if Wiggins does sit. I don't know.
Maybe Moody or Lee, like you said, could go either way. All right, man, let's go prize picks.
Yeah, let's do our prize picks. So for
we could talk about this game all day long, but I got to lace them up and get out there.
Yep. I like Jalen Brunson over 3 assists. He had 4 in game 2, 5 in game 1. I don't see his assists going down at home where the role players should play better. So I like the over at 3 assists.
I'm going to go Jalen Brunson over 3 assists.
That's your play.
How's that for repeat? Pete and repeat.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great play. Perfect spot. He's, they're going to guard him harder on the penetration. He'll dish. There you go. You got your lock washer. Top pick for both guys.
All right. And I'm also going to go with Reggie Bullock over 2.5 threes. I think that he can definitely get over that number. And I think that he's going to have a big impact on this game.
I hope so. That would be very well received. I'm going to go Kevon Looney. I'm going to stick with that until they decide how they can defend.
9 points.
PRA over 19.5.
Okay.
10 points, 10 rebounds alone is right there for the taking. And, if they do give him the ball in the paint and he gets sandwich down, he's going to kick to one of the Splash Brothers for an open shot. So he
Mhm.
should be able to steal a couple of assists. But I'm from that same school of thought. You give Kevon Looney 30 minutes, he should be able to make all his numbers here on PrizePicks.
Yeah. I'm going to take Klay Thompson under 25.5 PRA. He had 15 points and then 9 combined rebounds and assists in the first 2 games for 24 PRA. So he went under that number in both of those games. But I think that even if he scores, 20, I think that his peripherals will be down a little bit. And I just like that number at under 25.5 against Dallas's tough perimeter defense.
I'm with you, but you know what? This is where we differ. I'm still in the Klay corner.
Okay.
I know it's coming. 18.5 real points. I'm taking the over. I think Klay I know it was wrong in the last game, but I still think he gets close to 20 shots. And you get him with 20 shots and the adept free throw shooter that he is. I think he gets 20 real points here. So I'm going to take the 18.5 points over Klay Thompson. And that's not going to be a very popular pick, but I think it happens.
Yeah.
I don't particularly want it to happen for the Mavs, but I think that's going to be the tough one. And he's had some high scoring games in Dallas in the past. So
yeah, well, if
he has
gets
a tendency to feed off the crowd one way or the other.
If he gets 20 points and 5 combined rebounds and assists, he'll still go under. So I would take.
There you go. We can both win.
We can both win. Yep.
Definitely. Okay, let's build this. 2 brains are better than one, and then we're going to mail this one in because we want to get it out there early enough.
Yes.
For our baseball friends that are there, like, where's the baseball pod? All right.
Go ahead, take the first pick, and I'm sure you're going to take Luka.
Yeah, I'm just, we'll figure out the rest. Luka, captain.
All right. This is a GPP, right?
This is a FanDuel GPP. 2 brains are better than one. Giveaway, we'll all split the money, take first. Optimal lineup, why not?
I'm going to take Brunson in the star position.
Oh, man, this is going to be a Mavs game all the way around. Okay, so we have money problems. So we got to look for money savings here. I'm going to go. Gosh, I can't believe that's his price. I'm just trying to figure out how we can get the rest of the guys in there. I'm going to take Kevon Looney 10 and 10.5. He's cheap.
For the pro spot?
Well, let's see who the other 2 are before we slot them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna take Dinwiddie.
Yeah, he's cheap. So that you took 3 Mavericks. I love it. I don't want 4 Mavericks, so I don't want to take Bullock in particular. So and I don't particularly like Jordan Poole per se. If I took Poole though, and we'd be $500 over. I could take.
You want to take Poole instead of Looney? Or you're taking Looney and Poole, you say?
But then what happens if we do that?
If you take Poole, then I'll take Finney Smith.
Okay, that gives us 1,500 over though.
Luka, Brunson, Looney, Finney Smith, and Poole.
Okay, so Poole, let's see. Doncic, Brunson, and then the 1.2 guy would be Poole.
Or Looney, whichever one you want.
Poole, Looney. I'm still $500 off here. What am I doing wrong?
Doncic, Brunson, Poole, Finney Smith, and Looney.
Okay. That's perfect. Okay. Yes. So who do we want as the 1.2 guy? I think Poole or Looney.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm going to put Poole in there for for this one.
Okay.
Okay, so it'll be for our GPP giveaway. It's Luka in the MVP. The star is Brunson. The pro is Poole, and then the two utility are Finney Smith and Looney.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That is it, my friend. I think that's a nice one. I'll be happy with that.
Yep.
All right. That is it. Any final words on your side, Crash?
No, I'll definitely be cheering for the Mavericks tonight. So I hope they pull it off.
I appreciate it. It's a 3-point spread in Vegas. I think it's going to be a tight game. I really do. We've had so many weird blowout games. We'll see.
Yeah, we're due a close one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Buzzer beater kind of game, maybe.
Yeah. Look good.
All right. Yeah. Thanks very much, Crash. And thank you, everybody, for listening in. Again, thank you to our presenting sponsors, PrizePicks and BetUS. Go to prizepicks.com and betus.com.pa. If you're signing up, use that promo code CoachTalk, and you'll get some good giveaways there. So appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining in again, and we'll certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB and NBA, both DFS and PrizePicks.